All right, massive game tomorrow at 12 o'clock my time, wherever you're at, East Coast, 3 p.m. It's going to be the United States of America taking on Australia. Huge, huge game. Obviously, I'm an American. I love representing this country. I was so excited after our first game. We had such a great first game, obviously taking on Paraguay with the big 4-1 win. I mean, confident, up 3-0 at the first half. Really, really an exciting game. So we're just hoping we can carry that momentum into tomorrow with the Australia game. Tonight, I really want to focus on what the United States needs to do to win. And it's going to be from my perspective, from an American's perspective. Obviously, if you're an Australian fan, I'll touch on them a little bit. Mostly, this is going to focus on the United States. So let's just jump straight over here into the information that we picked up from the very first game. I think it's important to note in a World Cup, it's difficult to pick up a ton of information just from the first game, from the first round. Obviously, everyone's played once now at this point. A few teams have played twice, actually. The Mexico-South Africa game that started it. Mexico's already played again. They played tonight versus South Korea. So some teams have played twice. We're starting to pick up some more information on them. But all that we have to go on is the first game for both the United States and also for Australia. So last game for the United States, obviously the big 4-1 win. A huge showing by a lot of big players. Obviously, Christian Pulisic really created the goal that was the own goal. I think he deserves all the credit for that, honestly. Pulisic did a great job. Balogun was the man of the match with the two fantastic goals. And so we really played great. So specifically looking forward to tomorrow's games, I think the most important things for the United States, focusing on Australia, is really being positive in possession, because if we switch over to Australia here, Australia won 2-0 against Turkey, which was really quite a surprising result. I think a lot of people expected Turkey to be significantly the favorite in that game, right? To get a result there, at least a draw, probably a win. I think people looked at Turkey like they were going to be a favorite in this group, and it's quite interesting how quickly that entire narrative has shifted. So if we look over here, obviously, actually, let's go match facts first. You can see just the momentum board. I mean, really, really dominated by Turkey the entire game. They had 72% possession, better XG, 30 shots to just 9 shots, 51 touches to 18 touches. If you watch the game, this is very accurate. Sometimes this kind of momentum bar feels a little skewed and the possession stats can lie. But really here it felt like Turkey was dominating the game. And Australia just stood strong. They did a great defensive job. Their goalie, Beach, was their man of the match. Patrick Beach played fantastic between the sticks. So, 8 saves. You can see just dotted all over. He did a great job. Accurate passes probably should be better for a high-level goalie. Long balls, again, pretty poor. 4 for 25. A lot of giving the ball away there, unfortunately, but still, he did such a good job. Was still man of the match. Made a ton of great saves. Irakunda is a dangerous, dangerous player. Metcalf as well. You can see just green all across the board. Again, FootMob scores aren't necessarily the end-all, be-all to telling you how good somebody played throughout the game. But watching it, that Australia they played as such a unit. They just got such quality here. Harry Sutar was fantastic. Big, confident, physically imposing players, and it really shut down a Turkey team which is focused on being more technical, being a little bit more agile and quick, and their passing really didn't seem to line up well enough of what they needed to do to break down this Australia team, obviously, because it resulted in 2-0. But looking at this momentum bar, as an American tomorrow, what we're going to remember is we're going to have the ball. Australia is very confident not keeping the ball. They're okay with you having it. They're okay with playing counterattack ball. And it worked out great. This is the goal out of essentially nothing for Irakunda. And then later in the game, this was a Connor Metcalf. This was directly off a great save for Beach. And they struck and did a lightning fast counterattack down to Connor Metcalf. So Americans tomorrow, this is almost a scarier matchup than Paraguay. I predicted Paraguay USA game. I predicted that the USA was going to win 3-1, and I was almost exactly right. Obviously, Gio Reyna put that goal in right at the end, but I felt confident going against Paraguay, because we had already beat them just a couple months ago, And B, the style of play that we have, I felt worked well against Paraguay because we were able to congest the midfield so much and we didn't have to worry about getting beat over the top. We were able to just keep pressing, applying pressure, forcing turnovers in their half, forcing turnovers in their third, and it just generated a ton of pressure for us. Here, I'll swap back over so we can kind of see that. I mean, you can see like we were just dominating the momentum board. Obviously, that's an own goal, but besides there, a little bit of pressure at the beginning, and a little bit after the half, just a couple spikes here and there. This was right after the hydration break, so I think the hydration breaks have that's a whole different video, whether or not those are good or not, but they've caused a ton of momentum shifts throughout this World Cup, and arguably they've given a lot of goals to teams that don't really deserve it. But regardless, this was their goal came right after the hydration break. So you can see, I mean, we dominated the momentum the entire game with the 4 goals, with the ball possession and the XG and everything. So it's almost the exact opposite if you look at what we did to Paraguay versus what Turkey did to Australia, and completely opposite results as well. In this situation for the United States, kept the ball the whole time, dominated that possession, kept pressing, and ultimately resulted in a 4-1 win. Whereas Australia sat deep, had a good solid block. I mean, that's a wild lineup, seeing that 5-4-1 essentially for Australia. And I mean, obviously Irakunde and Metcalf played higher up at times, but just completely different styles of play. So the most important things I believe tomorrow, looking into the game, let's see if we can get this is the predicted lineup, but I'm sure this is pretty much accurate. I expect both teams to pretty much line up the exact same way. I think the most important thing is obviously Pulisic being fully healthy. He got that little bit of knock, came out at halftime versus the Paraguay game. If he can be fully healthy, he can come in and he'll really make an impact for us. I think that's an extremely important note. Balogun is going to have to perform. He's going to have to break through. I mean, obviously, big, physically demanding strikers. I think we're going to have to be confident that we can play it with it in the back, draw them out a little bit deeper than they want to go, because Australia want to sit back. They want us to be pressing at the 1/3 line, and they want us to keep the ball up there and then apply too many numbers forward so that they can break on that counterattack and score, which is exactly what they did against Turkey. What is surprising, I mean, give Turkey the credit to possess and create opportunities because, again, they had higher XG. The issue was Turkey couldn't finish to save their life. If we look at the shot save, Matt, for Bleach, I mean, these are good saves in the 30th minute, but I mean, XG fairly low. These are side netting shots late in the game, but again, not super high XG. I mean, this one in the 89th minute was a good opportunity, but Turkey couldn't finish, which is why it's going to be so important for the United States tomorrow for Balogun to press in, for Balogun to create those when he gets those opportunities to take them and make the finishes. I don't expect it to be another 4-1 win, though I am confident that we can go in and get another result. Again, we beat Australia just a few months ago. I think as long as our backline can stay consistent, have the discipline to not get overly drawn forwards, let Tyler Adams stay in those deeper positions so that he can protect the back three when Robinson goes all the way up to help assist in that high line pressure. What the United States wanted to do against Paraguay and performed perfectly was we had obviously the keeper, and then we had a back three with Tyler Adams protecting them, and the next 5 players were all pushed all the way up. They were pressing deep in the opposition's third. They were creating quick turnovers, which are turning into opportunities, which turned into goals. And we created that pentagon shape. And that pentagon shape allowed us to really maintain a control and a dominance over that midfield because we didn't have the fear of Paraguay going over the top. That is going to be an issue with Australia, of course, because Irakunde has that pace, because Toure has that pace, because Metcalf has that pace. Those are going to be bigger issues that we're going to have to face that weren't necessarily there with Almiron and Paraguay. So looking forward, my official prediction for tomorrow, I think it's going to be a 2-0 United States win. Again, I'm confident in this team. I think we're a much better unit. I think our defense is significantly better than Turkey is. That's an issue I had with them heading into the tournament, where I thought they were a bit overrated. I was never too worried about, I mean, no disrespect to Galatasaray, but this is an older defense. and none of them playing at massive teams. Obviously, Kadioglu was great for Brighton this season, but uh, not too scared about their defense. I think we're a much better defensive unit, especially hoping that Tim Ream, even though he's older, if he can play as composed as he did in the last game, I think it's going to be really good for us. Freeman did great. Richards is a star player for us. So we will see what happens in the game tomorrow. Again, official prediction 2-0. Players to watch: Pulisic, Balogun, and I'm going to go ahead and say big game tomorrow in the midfield for, let's see if Mike Tillman can come out, create those opportunities, break through that low block. McKinney's kind of a Tony Cruz style. Obviously, I'm not saying he's that quality, but he's that style of get the ball, possess the ball, maybe play a ball through once in a while and create a good cutting the lines opportunity. But he's not going to be the person who's driving through and forcing something to happen. Even though I hope he does. I love McKinney. That's my favorite player on the team. Big opportunity for Tyler Adams to step up to cut down those counterattacks before they really get started. Yeah, it's gonna be a big game. I'm excited for it, kind of nervous for it because I think this is gonna be a tough physical match with a lot of fouls, and we're gonna have to be smart. Hopefully, we get an early opportunity. I don't really see that happening for us, but I still think we can edge out a 2-0 win, and we'll head confident into our final game, knowing we already pretty much have the top of the group locked up. So let's go USA.